All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahahak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim teaching about the Mayam Mat. That's a sincerity and truth. It's the GMS Dallas branch. And just continuing the lessons. Going into the book of Judges. We've reached chapter 6 now. So it's going into Gideon, which is another judge. And as you continue to see, continue to see how the Lord deals with his judges, how he deals with his men. You know, we have our battles between the flesh and the spirit, to where, Lord, are you dealing with me, Lord? What you want me to do next, Lord? I'm just gonna wait on you. You know, and then when you have those moments of doubt and whether or not the Lord is dealing with you, you're gonna ask for certain things. We like to talk about how when you ask for faith, expect to be in a long line, you know, or patience. If you ask for faith, expect some kind of situation to arise, whether you're ready for it or not, to be able to understand, okay, well, this is what I prayed for, so this is what I'm getting, you know. But all this is going on at the same time where the Lord is fulfilling his will, using us, you know, as instruments. And when we get into Gideon and the situation that they were going into, you're going to be able to equate yourself to this one. Like we always say in Romans 15:4, all these things are written aforetime for our learning, you know, and we coming up on a time to where we in chapter 6 now, and we've established through the Spirit that the Lord has judges on the planet now that's gonna let Israel know what the Lord wants, and it's up to the Lord whether they hearken or not. But this is another situation where with Gideon was raised up to be a judge in Israel, and he wanted to make sure that he was doing everything right. So he was inquiring of the Lord, you see, which is what we have to do today, you know. So right. You got anything before we get started?
I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. You know, these next 2 or 3 chapters are going to be going into that story of Gideon. And, you know, Gideon is one of the more, I'll say, prominent judges, you know, when you read in the book of Judges, that you think about, you know, when you consider this book. So I brought this out, Lord willing, it's edifying.
He got a shout out. He got a shout out in the faith chapter,
right?
In Hebrews 11.
Kind. Yep, that's right. So, and you can see here the pattern. Of course, we keep saying it pretty much every lesson, but you know, the pattern of Judges is how Israel just continued to go off. And I think there was a part in the commentary that we actually we didn't read in the prelude or whatever it's called, like the summary of it, that I think would be a good time to get. Give me 1 second if I can find it. It's Exodus. I went up too far. Leviticus. Okay, I think this is this Joshua? Yes, Joshua. Hold on, let me go down to Judges. There we go. All right, here we go. In the background, here we go. Let's see here. Read this part. Okay. The religion of the Canaanites. We read that part. Okay. So let me read this paragraph here where it says Israel and its enemies, because you keep seeing the common denominator of, you know, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. You know, you read chapter 3, you read chapter 4, right? And then upcoming chapters, this is a recurring theme of Israel doing evil in the sight of the Lord. So going into that detail of what does that mean, right? It says, well, this is more important. This is really the point. The point is in the second chapter, the second paragraph. So I'm gonna just read this. But basically, this talks about how Israel encountered different nations as enemies, right? It says the main reason for this lack of unity was the people's departure from the Most High, right? Because it talks about how there was little unity in Israel, right? And we read in chapter 5 last week about the example of how when Sisera was oppressing Israel, there was a couple of tribes that didn't really come down, to help when uh who was that was helping Deborah? What's his name?
Barack.
When Barak was helping Deborah, or I'll say, yeah, when Barak was leading the army, there was a couple of tribes that wasn't really dealing, with Israel, or I'll say with their other tribes, right? It says, and they looked after their own area without concern for the other tribes, right? So it says the main reason for this lack of unity was the people's departure from the Most High. You see, and so that's pretty much how Israel kept doing evil in the sight of the Lord because we departed from the Lord. Okay. It says, if they made him the center of their national life, their loyalty to him would have bound them together. Right. And so now in these times, Yahweh Shai brings us together. You see, he's the one that combined, that's bringing back the northern and the southern kingdom back together in unity. Okay, because ultimately his sheep are going to hear his voice. So I'll read one more sentence and then we'll go into verse 1. It says, their disunity was made worse by their failure to destroy the enemy among them. Canaanite strongholds in a number of key places kept the tribes apart. Right. So just in case you keep wondering, like, damn, how does Israel keep going back into captivity, after a period of peace? Well, that's how, right? There was certain.
And the Lord originally instructed them to get rid of everybody, to get rid of everything, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You fast forward to today, that's why the Lord said there will be none remaining of the house of Esau. You see, not getting rid of those Canaanites led to all these different captivities and all these different offenses against the Most High and His Son. You know what I'm saying? Well, more against the Most High back then. You see, but that's why the Lord said, "Look, when it come to Edom, we're not gonna keep on doing this shit.
Yep.
We're gonna get rid of all of them." So that mentality, you didn't do what I say, so they're gonna be a thorn in your side. Every time you look up, you're gonna have to deal with it because you didn't do what you was told to do. You got it?
Kind. This is Judges chapter 6, verse 1. It says, and the children of Israel, the evil in the sight of the Lord, of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. Right? So now we got the Midianites, which is ironic because Jael was the wife of a Midianite who smote Sisera when you read chapters 4 and chapter 5. And now eventually you have Midian turning around to oppress Israel, right? This is the word for Midian. It says Strong's H4080 Madayan. Okay. Let's see. It says strife. What's the root word? Contention, brawling. Cool.
Man, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yep. It says a tribe. The tribe descended from Midian. The territory of the tribe descended from Midian, located principally in the desert of north, in the desert north of the Arabian Peninsula, land to which Moses fled from Pharaoh. Yeah. So if you look up in your handy Bible Atlas, see where that's at. See what comes up. So this is the region of the Egyptian domain, right? And then Moses fled to Midian. This is let me see it for a bigger map. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the top of the Arabian Peninsula, and then in this red box here, this is where Midian is. Okay, kind of like south of the land of Canaan, right? So the Midianites came up and they oppressed Israel for 7 years, right? Let's go back here. Okay. It says in verse 2, and the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. Okay. So there was a period of time where we had to flee, you know, into the mountains and caves, and we were taken out of our cities. You know what I mean? And that's a curse, man. Because here it is, the Lord, had us in the wilderness, led us from Egypt, delivered us from Egypt, and brought us through the wilderness. And we repaid the Lord by serving other gods. Okay. And then now we ended up being relegated to caves. You see? And I got a precept pulled up for this one. And oh yeah. 1 Samuel 13:6. Right? It says, this is when Israel was fighting against the Philistines. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places, in the pits and in pits. So kind of like even when David, he was in them caves and different places when he was fleeing from Saul. You see, so we were relegated to those low places, right? That's where you get a lot of them psalms of asking for mercy and strength and repentance, being in that low state. That's spiritually how we are. Spiritually, we in them dens and in them low places, man, as a nation, because we're being oppressed by these other nations, chiefly Esau. But it says, and so it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites. Here go Amalek again. Remember, they was helping Elgon, the Moabite king, in chapter 3, right? And now Amalek coming up again, and you see Amalek's territory is down here. You know what I'm saying? South of the land of Canaan, you got Basra, which is a chief city in Edom. You see? So that's Ammon's. I'm sorry, that's Amalek's. That they get off on seeing Jake go down. You see? It says, in the children of the east, even they came up against them. Right. So it was a conglomeration. Psalms 83. You know what I'm saying? It was all teaming up to come up against Israel. Right. It says, and they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth till thou come unto Gaza, and left no sustenance for Israel, neither sheep nor ox nor ass. So Esau had us. Well, Esau was in there, but the Midianites, which is Ishmael, right? Amalek and even other nations came up, okay, and they pretty much all throughout the land. What is map at? They came up all throughout the land, right? Even until you come onto the Gaza, which is on the western side of the land of Canaan, and they pretty much either burned, salted the lands or burned whatever they did had to do to where we couldn't even have no livestock, right? Which destroyed our, pretty much destroyed our ability to function, right? It says, for they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for multitude. For both they and their camels were without number, and they entered the land into the land to destroy it. Yep. And that's what Esau did when he came, eventually he just infiltrated America, right? North and South America. He would kill kill the crops that we had, what I'm saying, the natives, the American Indians had, right? He would destroy the livestock, the buffaloes, water buffaloes. He would, just kill them just to mess us up. What I'm saying? Hunting everything, So that's a war tactic that you do if you're trying to take over a land. You just burn everything down, or you kill everything that's alive to a point where it messes up the economy, right?
Yeah, you know where they got that from? The Lord doing it to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't do what you were supposed to do. They come in, they conquer with the manifest destiny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They wanted to wipe out everybody so they could take over everything, but they wasn't able to. You know, the Lord didn't set it up for us to be completely destroyed. He set it up for them to be completely destroyed. So when He tell us, you see, because it always talk about a remnant when it come to Israel. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But when it comes to the enemy, see, when the Lord say wipe everybody out, He means wipe everybody out. And if you don't, you get the Book of Judges.
That's right. Yep. I'm gonna get this precept real quick
Come.
in Isaiah chapter 5. Okay. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 5. All right. It says, "And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down." Yeah, because pretty much when you read this whole chapter, this is a parable, if you will, for the nation of Israel being protected by the Lord. Okay, because Israel is the Lord's vineyard. Okay, as it says here in verse 7, for the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. Right. But let me read verse 6. Isaiah 5 and 6, it says, "And I will lay it waste, it shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it." So the Lord ultimately has control over our environment through the weather, the elements, through men, through animals, to jack our situation up if we don't do what we're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, that's what Israel did. We brought forth wild grapes, right? The fruit that we gave to the Most High, the reward that we gave the Most High for cultivating us and taking care of us was basically an abomination sacrifice. Okay, and that's what led to us getting jacked up. Okay, all right, and that's the reason why we're in captivity to this day. Right. So it says in verse 6.
All these generations, the sons of God keep falling.
Con. That's right. Yep. In verse 6 it says, "And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord."
Oh,
See?
it's always when it's in dire straits. You can never just praise the Lord for delivering us. They always wait for the judge to die and then get right back to going off. You see, and it's only when they're getting that rod. It's only when they're getting that rod put on them that they want to repent. You know, that's why the Lord said He got to change our bodies completely, man. You got it.
Con. Let's see here. Okay, this is actually a good. This is a good map on this Bible commentary, Bridgeway Bible commentary. Yeah, okay, it's a kind of pixelated, but you can still see, you know, the other nations that surrounded, right? The other nations that surrounded Israel. So the Lord allowed us to enter into the land of Canaan, right? But these other nations were looking and seeing how the Lord allowed Israel to go into the land, and they were chomping at the bits, waiting to go in, because prior to Israel coming up in there, okay, the Canaanites were holding it down. You can imagine, the Canaanites probably was, defending their territory from these other nations as well. So when they seen Israel come up in there, they're like, okay, we got some new occupiers in there. Let's see if we can go in there and take it out. You know what I'm saying? And they never stopped doing that. Okay, but you can see Midian down here, Arabia, and you got what? Edom, which Amalek is, a tribe of Esau. Okay, and they had their own area, and they pretty much teamed up, right? But let me get this. Commentary. It says Israel's return to sinful and idolatrous ways met its punishment in the raids of the Midianites. Okay, as usual, the Amalekites were pleased to join the attack. You see that? Even the commentators know, which most likely Esau, they know that Amalek hated Israel, and always was willing to go in and try to take whatever they could from Israel at any opportunity, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
says,
They rubbing their hands together like Birdman when it comes to Israel.
man, for real, Con.
Oh.
For real, yeah, they like, man, that, can't wait till they slip up. But that song, but you know what? Let me get that scripture then. That's Jeremiah 50 all day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's Jeremiah 50 all day, man. Uh let's see where it's at here. Verse 6. Jeremiah 50:6 says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Right? So the key point in verse 7 is a good point too, but it says, my people have been lost sheep. Okay. Because we pretty much, as it says, mentions in the commentary, of course, it says in the scripture first and foremost, but in the commentary, it says Israel's return to sinful and idolatrous ways met its punishment in the raids of the Midianites. Right. And so pretty much, where do we get these sinful and idolatrous ways from? Well, when you go to, I believe it's Deuteronomy chapter 7, it talks about how the Most High told us not to marry our daughters to the with the men of Canaan and vice versa, right? And our sons to their daughters, because why? Because they were going to cause them to follow the idols of those of Canaan, of the Canaanites. And that's exactly what happened. Right. So when you go back to the scripture, Jeremiah 50, it says, cause them to go astray, which the word for sin is chata'ah, which means to miss the mark. Okay. So we know sin is transgression of the law, right? And the law is that mark. The law is the way that we're supposed to be focusing on obtaining. But if you go off, right, off the path of righteousness, if you aim somewhere else outside of that target, then you miss that mark. Okay. So that's ultimately what we've done, following after these other, Israel's shepherds are the heathen. You know what I mean? As a nation, pretty much we have, this is to our own destruction, but we followed the other nations' ideologies, thinking that that's going to, get us some type of reward.
I
Right.
got something for you.
Con.
This is Proverbs chapter 25, chapter 12, verse 26. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Mm-hmm. And you see that time and time again, man. You see it time and time again. Everywhere we go, we've been scattered all over the place, and everywhere we go, it's the same thing. You got it.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna go back here to Judges 6.
Mingle amongst the heathen and learn their works. It's like so many precepts that go into that, but it's also so many precepts that go into wherever we at. It's a remnant that's gonna say no. It's gonna be a judge that's gonna be raised up. It's gonna be a prophet or something. Right. You see, as pertaining to that remnant, they'll never get all of Israel. You got it.
Right. Yep. That's right. So it says in verse 7, and it came to pass when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent a prophet unto the children of Israel. Right. So you see how it was a reaction, right, to us calling out to the Lord. I know there's a scripture, I think it's either in First Kings or Chronicles somewhere, where it talks about how if we cry unto the Lord as a nation, pretty much, the Lord will deliver us. But Israel as a nation is not in unity. Okay.
Man, I can't think of what chapter. I think it's in Kings though.
Yeah,
we're talking about if we all face the east.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just didn't feel. Didn't feel like it, but just for time's sake,
somebody can post it on the comment board, Baba Kashaw.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a kind of longer chapter, but yeah, you see, so the recurring theme is, okay, we call into the Lord, and then what happens? The Lord delivers us, right? So
get that word sent.
Okay. It should be shalach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So when it comes to that word right there, what is that would be pretty much the Hebrew word for an apostle, because an apostle in the Greek, it means to be sent. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to go into the Hebrew and look for the word apostle, it's gonna send you back to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Elder Monaghan was he put it in the prayer one time, or his opening when he give double honors to our apostles. He used the word shalak. You know, for our apostles, it's shalak now, shalak nawah, depending on where you're from.
Right. Is it Sibboleth or Shibboleth? We gotta know.
Yeah.
But
Right on. I just wanted to bring that out.
Khan, that's beautiful. Yep. So it says shalach, right? It says send, to send away, right? To let go, to stretch out, to send off, to send out forth, to appoint. It says here, so on and so forth. You know. So yeah. So he appointed, all right, he sent forth a prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, thus said, and it's beautiful because it don't really have a name for the prophet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't really have a name. It's just, it just says sent the prophet. So that's one of them prophets that just isn't even named, but is a prophet of the Lord, right? It says, thus said the Lord, Yahweh, the power of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt and brought you forth out of the house of bondage, and I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drave them out from before you, and gave you their land.
Mm-hmm.
And I said
Which is
unto you,
always, I would say between the prophet, I would say between the prophet, that the prophet's job is to let Israel know this is what's going on. This is why it's going on. You see, they call on the Lord. Lord, please save us. Get us out of this. They send the prophet to tell them, look, this is why you're getting jacked up. But the Lord sent the prophet. The Lord set up the judge to let you know that he heard those prayers and that he's dealing. So when you go through all these different chapters of all Israel going off, even from the fall of the sons of God, you see, and then going into Egypt, now we're in the time of Judges. All these times you had Israelites that was going off, but you also had Israelites that was sticking to the, you see, that was sticking to the script.
yep.
And every time Israel called on the Lord, because you see, the children of Israel is crying to the Lord again. They in unison. I would say that getting the ass whooping brings Israel together.
Right.
By getting their ass beat. You see? So every time they get their ass beat, they call on the Lord. And the Lord sent somebody to curse their ass out. This why you getting your ass whooped, but I ain't done with y'all yet. Go ahead. It's the same thing happening today. It's the same thing happening today. We talk about all these other Israelite groups and all the BS that they got going, but you still got the remnant, and we believe we are of that number. We just got to endure it to the end, because you can be of the elect today, but then when it hit the fan, who knows? So that's why we could. That's why we continuously pray and fast and call on the Lord, because eventually the will is going to be fulfilled. We just want to be on the right side. So we are that judge in today's time, starting with the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone on down to us. We are those judges. Like, no, man, no. Y'all gonna get all us killed. That's what they saying about us. Y'all gonna get all us killed. No. Y'all gonna get all us killed. No, you the one that's going out of pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead. Now that you get your ass beat, because all these Israelite groups that's selling everything that ain't nailed down, they gonna call on the Lord at the right time. Once they done dug in the hole, once they done dug a hole and starting to bury themselves, they gonna realize, oh shit, you got it.
Right. This is Hosea 5:15. It says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense. In their affliction, they will seek me early. And that's pretty much the I keep saying recurring theme, but that's like, that's how Israel works, man. Jake will take it to where they on their last breath. Even us, like, as individuals, sometimes, we wait to the last day to pay some shit, the last 30 seconds to pay it before it's late, or, whatever it is, You know what I'm saying? We'll suffer a little bit low. We'll hold out from going to the doc, go whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, until the last, procrastinate, until the last second. You know what I'm saying? When really you could have just nipped it in the bud earlier and you would have been way better off, And so the most high is like,
when you needed $50, you didn't say nothing. Now you want to come to the congregation when you need 500.
right. Oh yeah, I feel Salaki, man.
$50 product that turned into 500.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah. Right. So going back to this here in Judges 6 and verse 10, again, it says, and I said unto you, I am Yahweh your power. Fear not the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. You see? So our people are actually fearing the gods of the Amorites spiritually today, right? Mm-hmm. When you go into that word, I want to get it, fear, which we already knew what it was. Strong's H3372, Yara'ah, okay, to stand in awe of, to fear, reverence, to honor, respect. Our people were honor and respecting the gods of the Amorites. Let's see if some comes up on the search. Amorite gods. Yeah.
So that's just like today. It'll say all these Israelite groups, they fear Esau more than they fear the Most High, man, and it shows in their actions.
Yeah.
Esau say some shit, they get right in line, they get right in order. But then when but then when the prophets tell you, you got a problem with it, and it's not that you, and it's not that Esau is stronger, but Jake fear the power on the earth, the power that they can see. You know what I'm saying? Jake straighten up when Esau show up. They see them red and blue lights and shit. Jake ain't drunk no more, sober up real quick, get in line. But then when the prophet tell you something, it's all this back talking, pushback, and all this other shit.
Right. So, all these different gods here, we on Wikipedia with it. You know what I'm saying? Dagon, which is identified with Enlil. This type of shit Jake had in they living room that was pissing the Most High off. They bowing down to this,
Which y'all should put no other gods before me, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So our people was worshiping that. And there's a bunch of other gods named here. You know what I'm saying? This god here, who's a cognate with Asherah, right? Another goddess. You see? So there's a bunch.
All this weirdo shit.
Yeah, there's a bunch of God, and it's like you look at it and it's like, damn, our people was going off. But even today, they're still going into the same, in the spirit, they're going into the same worship, because what does it symbolize? The mother of all living, you know what I'm saying? The snake,
Ahaya and Yeshaya,
yeah,
Most High Christ bless, cutting out Yahweh Shai all together.
Yeah.
Thinking you can just go to the Most High on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And all these niggas got fringes on.
Yep.
All this bullshit with your fringes on. Thou said, place no God before me. You gonna do that with your fringes on? Head cover, fringes on, chest out. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
It says here, people matched the Most High with Asherah, like as if they were husband and wife in ancient Israel and in ancient Judah. See, the great mother, you see? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like these people, our people, that when you really go into it for real, you see why the Most High jacked us up.
And that's what I'm saying. When we go through all these accounts, it say they called on the Lord when it got bad.
Yeah.
So they let you know they full of shit.
Yep.
You got all this bullshit on the chimney. All this. You ain't calling on none of them lords to get you out of captivity.
Man.
Because it's only one that's gonna get you out of captivity, the one that put you there. So we're gonna see about all that Most High Christ bless and diminishing Yahweh Shai's worth. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Cause when Esau got that boot on your neck, we gonna see.
God.
You got it.
God. This is Judges 6:11. It says, and there came an angel of Yahweh and sat under an oak, which is in Oprah, that pertained unto Joash, the Abiezerite. And his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. Okay. Wheat threshing was required in order to create bread, in order to create the flour that you use to make bread. So, we did lessons, brothers did lessons on wheat threshing. If you want to just look it up, what is wheat threshing? We bring it up all the time. We don't got to go into it every single time we mention it, but you should know what the process of threshing wheat is and the process of winnowing and that agricultural process. And it says he did it by the wine press, which is a big, huge stone that they used to squish grapes and get the juice out of it. So he kind of did it like in the background, hidden away so that the Midianites wouldn't see. You know what I'm saying? And so basically he was in captivity, like how we are, you know what I'm saying, trying to do our side hustle on the side without Esau looking at, you know what I mean? He was just trying to make it, right? And then the Lord came to him, right? Verse 12, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Right. So the Lord literally just had an angel just pop up and visit Gideon. Right. Mm-hmm. And let me go ahead and get that word, what the name means in the Hebrew. I'm curious what Oprah means. Strong's H6084 Ipara Fawn. That's cool. Never knew that. So Oprah really got a dope name. She's just a demon. So going to Gideon, that word Gideon is Strong's H 1439 Gadai one. Okay, which Gadai means to cut, to chop, to hew down, to chop into, and then the one at the end, the y and the na at the end, these last two makes it plural. So hewer, one who hews, a feller. Yep. And that's exactly what he did. Mm-hmm. And he chopped them damn Midianites down through the spirit. Right.
And the nations are what in Ezekiel 31, it shows you that people being like in the trees. And a fella chops down trees.
That's right. That's right. Yep. And Yahushua is known as that axe. Mm-hmm. You know. So it says Judges 6:13. It says, and Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord Yahweh be with us, then why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? You see? So it was a custom. They knew, the Lord had brought us from Egypt. Now, at this point, everybody, Joshua and Caleb, they had all passed on to the spirit world because it was, by this time, probably at least 100 years, had passed since Israel was, when first entered into the land. And, that generation that passed, so it was like our great grandfather, was one of the ones that was around during Moses' time. At this time, that was like around that time. So it was like damn, well, we didn't see the manna come down from, the manna every morning, but our fathers told us how we got here. Where are those miracles now? What's like how are we in this position now? Kind of like how the spirit that Ezra was in when you read that in Second Ezra chapter 2. I'm saying Ezra was questioning, and he was like, man, like, Lord, if you with us, then how come these other nations ruling over us? He was kind of coming in that same spirit, right? It says, but now the Lord Yahweh hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. You see? So, but the picture had to be painted for him to understand, was because we keep, as a nation, we keep worshiping these other gods.
And that's how Jake is now.
Mm-hmm.
Jake always want to question the Lord like they ain't got nothing to do with what's going on with their situation.
Yeah.
You look at Israel. I'll say you look at Israel and you see how wicked they are, but they the ones talking about why.
Yeah.
Why this? Why that? Explain this to me. Send me to hell then, because if I go to heaven, I'm gonna question God. I'm gonna get on his nerves. Are you fucking serious?
Man.
Like you ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. You just being as righteous as possible, sitting in a lotus position, but the Lord just keep on messing with you.
Right.
Man, fuck off.
Right. Yep. That's the spirit of 2/3 of our people. They basically like, well, I didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Wherein hast thou loved us?
Whole life wrong in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. You doing what you want to do, talking shit to the prophets, wicked as hell. I was said you got the LGBT, you got the LMNOP group questioning the Lord like it ain't nothing, like they ain't got nothing to do with AIDS and all this other shit.
Man. Yep.
You want everybody to respect you, but you wicked as hell. No, we're not gonna do that. You just gonna have to be mad. You just gonna have to cancel me. Fuck off.
Yep.
And that's the mentality of the judges. Like, you can talk all that shit you want. This is what the Lord said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm rolling with what the Lord said. Get mad. Cool. Hey, I'm mad right back. But I'm not gonna sin though.
Right.
Be ye angry, but sin not. See, we held to a way higher standard than the people out there just doing whatever the hell they want. But your behavior is the reason why you're in captivity. And the Lord gonna send somebody to tell your ass that. Go ahead.
Con. All right. It says, verse 14, Judges 6 and 14. And the Lord Yahweh looked upon him and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? So Gideon was on a level, you know what I'm saying? He was on a mighty man level. If he was around during the time of David, he would have been one of David's mighty men, right? And the angel of the Lord, like, look, just go, do as I say. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be one of them. You're gonna be one of the miracles that I worked. That you're talking about. Where's these miracles? And so verse 15, what he do? It says, and he said, this is Gideon, and he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. Right. So he was thinking logically, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do it, I don't got no iron chariots of iron, no horses. He was a poor, financially, poor Manassite, you know what I'm saying? And it says, verse 16, and the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. You see? So the angel of the Lord reassured Gideon, hey, look, I'm with you.
Get Romans real quick. Okay. If the Lord is with us, who can be against us?
Right. Yep. Romans 8. Let me see here.
There's 31.
Okay. All right. That's it. Yep. Romans 8 and 31. It says, what shall we say then to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us?
Yeah, that's what he was telling Gideon. I'm gonna use you to fulfill my will. I raised you up, so let's do this. And then Gideon was like, okay, well, if I can so humbly ask, can you show me a few things to let me know that you're dealing with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Lord has showed us all plenty of things in everybody's walk. The Lord shows you things that continues to keep you convinced.
Con.
You got it.
Yep. It says in verse 17, and he said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight. This is the conversation going on between Gideon and the angel of the Lord. This is Gideon's response. It says, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest with me. You know? So he's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It was more so of like Gideon making sure he wasn't tripping, like, okay, well, all right, you know, make sure I'm not tripping, because I could just go out here and do what you're saying and get put to death, you know. So let me, you know,
Yeah, I want to make sure you ain't a demon, Lord.
yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? For real, you know, let me be.
And the Lord didn't get pissed off at him.
Yeah. Yep.
How dare you, my son, question me? No, watch what he did.
Right. Yep. Verse 18, it says, depart not thence, I pray, depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee and bring forth my present and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry till thou come again.
That's what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
We tarry until the Lord come again, because the prophecies tell us exactly what the Lord is going to do. You see? It tell us what it's going to do. It tell us what he's going to do, when, how he's going to do it. It's just not a date put on it. You see? So we waiting until the Lord come, which is the position that Gideon was in during his time. You see? You know what, Lord? Hey, I just want to make sure that you did it with me for sure. And if you tell me to wait, I'm going to wait. Simple as that.
Yep.
He didn't tell him to chase the bag. He didn't tell him to make no money. He didn't tell him to sell turtle doves and t-shirts. Now, look, I'm going to show you I'm dealing with you, because that's what you asked me for, because I'm the one that set you up anyway. So let's do this. You got it.
Con. Yep. And it says in verse 19, and Gideon went in and made ready a kid. Kind of like when you read Genesis 18, how Abraham did the same thing when he was approached by the angels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he was like, oh shit, okay, he told Sarah, yeah, snap into a Slim Jim, you know, go ahead and make this cakes and prepare a kid for our guests, right? So that's what he did. He went in, he you know, made ready a kid, which is a goat, and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. The flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot and brought it out unto him under the oak and presented it. And the angel of the Most High said unto him, take the flesh and the unleavened cakes and lay them upon this rock and pour out the broth. And he did so. You see? So the first inclination that Gideon had was like, look, let me give us, you know, an offering and see what happens. And the angel didn't eat the goat, and you know, this is what happened. It says, then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, which shows you that this was a physical, you know, appearance, right? Okay. And the angel of the Lord is an angel, okay, which is what? Mala'ak, a messenger of the Lord. Okay, this is not the Most High himself, the actual, you know, Most High. Okay, just because it says the angel of the Lord, a messenger of the Lord, okay, did these things. Okay, because the Lord has messengers, he has angels. And angels can be, well, like the scriptures say, we entertain angels unawares.
Right.
You know,
Scriptures also let you know that there's evil angels.
mm-hmm.
If you type in evil angels, it's a precept that's going to come up. You know what I'm saying? So Gideon clearly was aware of that. That's why he wanted the Lord to confirm, you know, and the Lord did.
Right. Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
Look
So
at
this
unawares.
mm-hmm. Strong's G 2990. Lanathao. Lana. Oh, excuse me. Lanthano. It says
You try to Hebrewize it.
Lantano. It says to be hidden from one secretly or without knowing.
You see, without knowing, you didn't know you was dealing with an angel, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? We deal with them. We deal with them all the time. We've had several situations where we're like, man, that could have been an angel right there.
Man.
You know, you got it.
Yep. But I mean, pretty much it became apparent to Gideon that this was the angel of the Lord after this
Mm-hmm.
interaction.
And notice how Gideon is following the instructions that's being given. Do it like this. Do it like that. Put it right here. Don't put. You know what I'm saying? Following instructions. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You see, he put forth the sacrifice, but he obeyed the instructions on the sacrifice, so the sacrifice could be good.
That's right.
You got it.
It says, verse 21. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh of the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight.
Man,
Cold.
can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? He said, okay, you want me to show you that I'm dealing with you? Okay, here we go.
Man,
follow these instructions and watch me work. That's what I'm saying. That's what it is with the Heavenly Father, man. You see, he sent the angel to prove what Gideon was asking for. You know, show me you dealing with me, Lord. The Lord was like, "Come, I got you. Yeah, I got you. That's easy work." You know, and then once the Lord shows you, you willing to do more and more. You get addicted to serving the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Now we in this flesh, so it's a constant battle. But that's what I'm saying. When you see the Lord come through, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this spiritual charge that it ain't nothing else like it. You just want to continue to have that. You got it.
Go on. And it said the angel of the Lord just departed out of his sight. He just walked off.
Man.
That's where Esau, in certain movie scenes, that's what Esau, man, ain't nothing new under the sun. I'll just say it like that. Because that's a cold ass scene when you think about it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Verse 22 says, and when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, alas, O Lord Yahweh, for because I have seen an angel of Yahweh face to face. You see? He was like, damn. So he knew, okay, damn, this is the angel of the Lord. I just dealt with an angel. Just like how we, if we were to react, if we seen something like that, like we'd be like, oh, even when we see chariots.
Let's look at something. Let's look at face to face.
Okay.
And see what come up.
Maybe okay, panyum, al panyum. Yeah, face to face. So it's like a phrase. It's like a phrase. Well, let me see if it comes up better if I do it like this. Panyum al panyum. So let's get that word. Face. Strong's H6440. Panyum, which is really face, and then the yum, because pa is face, or yeah, pa is face, and then panyum is faces, like basically plural. But like face, face in front of, you know what I'm saying, in the presence of, right? And then al is a what's that word? Article, okay, or a preposition, right? Meaning unto or towards, or to, just simply to, right? So face to face, you know what I'm saying? Like in person, you know what I'm saying? Up right. Close and personal, right? And so that's even that term face to face. That ain't, man, that's a biblical term. That goes back to the Old Testament. That ain't nothing new. That term face to face.
Right. With the Most High and Moses.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
goes in. It goes into face to face. I just wanted to see what it was gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Kind. Yep. I'm sure there's precepts, a bunch of precepts on that. But yeah, we like halfway through, so I'm gonna keep going here in verse 23. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, peace be unto thee. Fear not, thou shalt not die. Okay. So that was the Lord's response. It says, then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord and called it Yahweh Shalom. Okay, I ain't going to read the transliterated version because I can understand what it means, which we'll go into it. But it says, well, which that means the Most High's peace, right? Which we'll go into in a second. But it says, unto this day, it is yet an Oprah of the Abiezrites. So go into this here, the word Yahweh. Oh, they have it separated, but you can see it here if you understand the letters. Yahweh and then Shalom. Okay, which Shalom means peace. A salute to the Most High. So, and Gideon was one of the few. It wasn't very many people that built the altars to the Lord like that. But Gideon was one of those men. Okay, let's see. It says verse 25. It says, and it came to pass that same night that the Lord Yahweh said unto him, take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that thy father hath, and cut down the grove that is by it. Yeah, because what does the scripture say? The Most High is a jealous power. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna work with Gideon. Let's do the first test. Let's see if he's willing to take down this altar that's in his town, right? Which you can see, man, as I'm thinking about it, it kind of does sound similar, to Abraham's story. You know what I'm saying? Being that Abraham's father was, you know, into, he was all into the other gods, you know what I'm saying? And Abraham departed from that. He left the land of Uz, and he followed the Lord, right? So there was an altar of Baal, okay, of Satan, pretty much, in the city, right? It says, and there was a grove, there was an altar to Baal, and there was a grove, right? Baal and Ashtaroth, okay. It says, and build an altar unto the Lord, Yahweh thy power, upon the top of this rock, in the ordered place, and take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the grove that thou shalt cut down. So, he was Gideon was appointed to basically just completely disrespect, the gods that Jake was following at that time. So that's like us going into a Christian church, taking the pillars out of the church, and building an altar to the Lord, what I'm saying, with that same wood, what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Or something like very like to the point where if you did that, like they'd be ready to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Take that, smash down the big crucifix of Jesus that's in there, right? Of Caesar Borgia that's in there, trash that down, you know what I'm saying? And then tell them, and then when they ask who did it, tell them it was you.
Okay, Abraham was in we said Uz, so yeah, that's yeah. We said Uz, so yeah, we just want to clarify. It was of the Chaldees. Job was in Uz.
The Chaldees, the water. So it says Judges 6:27. It says, then Gideon took men of his servants and did as the Lord had said unto him, and so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, that he did it by night. You see, again, because if he did it by day, that, you know, it would have been obvious. Everybody would have seen him, and he wouldn't have been able to complete the job, right? So he did it at nighttime. And it says in verse 28, and when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down. Okay, and again, this was pretty much like a center. Matter of fact, let's get a little bit of the commentary on it. Okay. It says here in the commentary, Gideon began his reformation of Israel in his hometown. He smashed the altar of Baal along with its sacred wooden pillar and built a new altar on which he offered holy sacrifices to Israel's power, Yahweh, the one true God.
That's what we doing in the spirit, man. You
Man.
see, coming up in your own respective city, whether you was born there or whether you live there now, and then turn down the strongholds within that city. All the idols that's being worshipped in the city. You know, we doing the same exact thing now. Out on the highways and byways, putting up the sacrifices. You got it.
Yep. 2 Corinthians 10:5. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. That's what we're doing. That's what we've been assigned to do, right? The weapons of our warfare is set up to pull down the strongholds of this wicked world. Okay, and so that's a scripture that came to mind when I'm reading this here, right? It says back in Judges 6:28, it says the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down. And the grove was cut down that was by it, and the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. Right. So there was a lot that was done, and everybody's like, "Yo, what's going on?" Like, no warning of this, you know, was sent out. It was just like, you know, a big deal. Okay, because it was, you know, that grove and that altar to Baal was probably like a center, deal in that town that they were in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says in verse 20.
They always put idols in the middle of the city where they can be worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
They got it in their head that everybody's gonna come worship this particular idol. So you know it was big. Especially for the Lord to want to take it down, you know it had to be all they, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Putting
right.
two and two together. Oh, the Lord, like, oh, this is what y'all worship? Gideon, go tear that shit down. And tell them I said it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. And then also too, an ox was like very expensive. So like, damn, like, and you know, so it was like a big deal. You know, if you slay an ox, that's like you do that like once every, well, shit, think about how long it takes for an ox for an ox to grow, or a bullock to grow full size.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so it took a while, right? Bull, excuse me, not specifically ox, but bull, which is a male cow, right? So it says, verse 28, verse 29, and when they said one to another, and they said one to another, who hath done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon, the son of Joash, hath done this thing. You see, so it was found out, you know, that Gideon was the one that did it. And the men of the city said unto Joash, bring out thy son, that he may die. See, so they was ready to put him to death.
That's what I'm saying. So for following with the Lord's instructions, he was under the threat of imminent death.
Man,
go ahead.
Persecuted for righteousness' sake.
Mm-hmm.
It says, because he hath cast down the altar of Baal, and because he hath cut down the grove that was by it. You see? So that's how serious these people are going to be, man. You know, when, shit starts hitting the fan for them, okay, and they're going to point the finger at us and say, well, these were the ones that was chanting down Babylon. These are the ones that was saying that America was going to be destroyed and this and that. Now that it's happening, now we're going to point the finger at these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so, nothing new under the sun, man. Judges 6:31, it says, and Joash said unto all that stood against him, will you plead for Baal? Will you save him? That he that will plead for him, let him be put to death whilst it is yet morning. If he be a god, let him plead for himself, because one hath cast down his altar. You see?
Man, man. So y'all
So,
gonna get, I'm saying, so y'all willing to die? Y'all willing to die for an idol? Pretty much? Because if
mm-hmm.
Baal was all y'all say he would, he'll still be standing up there.
Yep.
So if
Yep.
you if that's how you if that's what you believe on, you could die too.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, kind, and so that's why his name was called Jerubbaal, like it says. Therefore, on that day that he called him Jerubbaal, saying, "Let Baal plead against him, because he had thrown down his altar." Meaning, since Gideon tore down the altar of Baal, the point was like, okay, well, shit, if Baal is a real god anyway, then let Baal smite him down. Let Baal jack him up. Because that's, like you said, Zaquan, that's who they were worshiping. So when you go into that, and anytime you see Jerubbaal name come up, just know that that's basically like a nickname for Gideon, right? Strong's H3378, Yara Baal. Okay. Yarab meaning Rayab, meaning to plead or to strive or to contend, and then Baal, right, which is Baal. Okay, let Baal contend. The name given to Gideon by his father when he destroyed the altar of Baal. That's kind of like it's kind of like he almost like tempting. Well, even though Baal is not a real. I mean, that's not a real power to be feared anyway.
Right.
So it was like it's like a teaser name. So, the ones that really was into Baal like that, they probably was like, yeah, man, Baal gonna jack him up. Yeah, man, Baal gonna mess him up. But nothing ever happened to Gideon.
Yeah,
He ended up,
and that's a trip how it's pop. They were like, bring your son out here so we can kill him right now. And he
right.
was like, and it was like, bring Gideon out here right now. He was like, matter of fact, since he said what he had to say about Baal, he was like, matter of fact, call my son Jerubbaal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like what? What y'all?
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here, man. Go ahead.
Fine. Yep. It says in verse let me see, excuse me, verse 33, then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together. It went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. But the spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. Okay.
All right, now get that word for spirit real quick.
Okay. Racha.
Right? It's gonna talk about that. It's gonna talk about that warlike energy.
Yep. Okay. So you got a bunch of wind. Let me see. It's probably down here more.
There we go. Imparting warlike energy. So
Yep.
there we go.
Yep.
And that's what happened. We can move on.
Con. Man.
Now, when the spirit of the Lord is on you, all these different things gonna happen. You see, prophetic energy, warlike energy. That's what I said. The spirit of the Lord is on you to fulfill His will.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yep. And so he had, after this account, he pretty much had a level of, authority, what I'm saying, if you will. And even the ones that so-called, had a problem with him, they couldn't really touch him, because it's like, well, shit. Yeah. I mean, I do believe, if you do believe in Baal, then you're going to believe that he going to jack him up. But, he pretty much galvanized, the men of Abiezer, right, as it says here, to follow him up to, to get, I'll say, to follow him. What I'm saying, to kind of create like a, a coalition to defend against the Midianites, right? So it says in verse 35, it says, and he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, because Gideon was from Manasseh, it says, who also was gathered after him. So not only was he able to get his region within Manasseh, but also pretty much the whole tribe of Manasseh to come and follow him. And
Mm-hmm.
it says, and he sent messengers unto Asher and unto Zebulun and unto Naphtali, and they came up to meet them. See, so not only just his tribe, but which getting your whole tribe together is a huge thing.
Yep.
Shoot, getting your whole town to come together for a collective cause, that's a big deal. You get the whole tribe, and then he got one, two, three other tribes, and so now we see the picture of when he had all those men, which I think that's in the next chapter. Yeah, that's the next chapter. You know what I'm saying? But now with that understanding and seeing, damn, I got tens of thousands, I got thousands and thousands of men here with me to come together for this cause. Man, I sure hope the Lord's dealing with me. That's why he had, what we about to read in verses 36 through the end of the chapter. That's why he kind of did what he did, because he was like, man, let me make sure, let me be quadruple sure I'm doing the right thing. Right. So as Judges 6:36 says, and Gideon said unto the Most High, if thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool on the floor, and if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said. Right. So it was like um, I guess you could say not a test, but he was asking for a sign from the Lord again, another sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, and it was so, for he rose up early on the morrow and thrust the fleece together, meaning he wringed it out. And it says, the dew, and wringed the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. So the Lord answered his prayer, right? And let that water be soaked up into that fleece of wool. And then Gideon said in verse 39, and Gideon said unto the Most High, let not thine anger be hot against me, and I will speak yet but this once.
Also,
And
and you notice the more that the more that the Lord proved him, the more his faith got built up. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the Lord wants. You see? Look, if all you want me to do is wet up a piece of fleece, then that, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you that you're gonna conquer the Midianites. So if all you want is me to just wet up a piece of fleece, then okay. But that's what I'm saying. It's like we was talking about earlier. You get addicted to the power of the Lord.
Kind.
You see, and you want to see it more and more. So when he run that bowl out, he was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But then he's still being humble, like, Lord, please don't be mad at me. But that's what I'm saying. You keep on showing me all this stuff. I just want to see more. Go ahead.
Kind.
That's how we are with these lessons, learning about our forefathers and going into these accounts. You see, when we're reading, that's what I'm saying. We don't went into Gideon several times.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kind. And even when Abraham was talking with the angels, he was kind of going back and forth with him about certain things. So at times the Lord will have, because you could think like, dang, like, was Gideon tempting the Lord? No, he wanted to make sure, you know what I'm saying? He would just, because he was being humble with it. That's why it says, let not thine anger be hot against me. Because he's like, I know I'm making requests and I know it's out of my, above my pay grade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just ask this one more thing, right? And I will speak but this once. Let me prove, I pray thee, but this once with the fleece. Okay. Let it now be dry upon only the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. Okay. It says, and the Most High did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. So that way it was irrefutable that the Lord was speaking and working through Gideon, to a point where it's like, okay, well, damn, now that I've seen this, I can't go back. Like, and that's how we feel. You know what I'm saying? What is that in matter of fact, what is that in, I think is that John, John chapter 1, or the first John? I think it's, let's see. Mm, I think it might be first John. We're talking about how we physically. Okay, here we go. Uh, know what? Hold on. I think it might be First John, where it talks about how um, pretty much we had physical interaction, and we believe through that interaction with Yahweh Shai. Let's see. Is it First John? Yeah, that's it. This is what I was looking for. First John chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, that which was from the beginning, and we know this is talking about Yahweh Shai, right? That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which is the point, right? Which is pretty much proof. Okay, when you see with your eyes, you have no, you when you see a sign with your eyes, your faith gets built up, right? It says, which we have looked upon and our hands have handled the word of life, right? And again, it goes on to talk about Yahweh Shai and how he is the word and everything like that. But the point I wanted to make is when you experience certain things, certain proofs, certain miraculous acts,
I
and
was
you
gonna
see
say,
those
look up
things,
the word miracles. You can
right?
finish your points, Lucky, but yeah, look up the word miracles.
Mm-hmm. Con. When you see those things happen, you become, nobody can't tell you otherwise, right? So I don't know if it's in this chapter. The word, no. Okay, let me just look up miracles. All right. I got a couple words for miracle. Um, we can do the Greek or the Hebrew. Let's see.
The Hebrew is the one we can look up both, but the
Yeah.
Hebrew, the Greek is the one that I was thinking about right then.
Okay. I think this probably be a good one here. It's kind of two words here for it. You got Strong's H4159, Mawapath, okay, which says a wonder, a sign, uh, portent, which a portent is a sign or warning that something, especially something momentous or calamitous, is likely to happen, like an
Right? Then
omen.
you got a wonder, a special display of God's power,
Man.
which is what he worked through Gideon.
Yep.
You see, by building them up, gathering everybody together, and then dwindling that number down so his power could be shown.
Kind.
You see? And a miracle was worked through Gideon because Gideon believed. So the more and more that the Lord showed Gideon, because the Lord woke Gideon up for his purpose. You see?
Yep.
But Gideon was in the flesh. So he want, you know what I'm saying? And that's the way the Lord proved those things. Fast forward to the New Testament, the Lord proved those things through his son. Then the apostles. All that action is coming back today.
God, that's heavy. Yep, because he was just threshing wheat behind the wine press.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of the prophets you read about, they had pretty much normal lives,
That's right.
All right, so there's two words here for, well, hold on, there's another word in the Hebrew. See this one here. Okay, a wath, Strong's H22 a wath, a sign or a signal, a miraculous sign, a token, a standard or proof, So that's that second word there. And then in the Greek, you have two words for it. Strong's G1411, dunamis. Okay, and it says power, mighty work, strength. Let's see, inherent power residing in a thing by virtue of its nature. Another one is the power for performing miracles.
Mm-hmm.
So basically power, you know what I'm saying? Ability, but like a special ability, you know? So yeah.
Going to the root word.
Yep. The root word is uh do namai. Do namai. It says can, or like, okay, to be able to do something, to be able to do something, to be capable, to have power, whether by your own ability, um, or state of mind, or through favorable circumstances, or by permission, but basically to be able to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and the Most High gives us that ability. Hey, like the scriptures say, every man according to his several ability, which is basically the ability to do the Most High's will. And then the other word here for miracle, okay, is Strong's G4592. It says say mayon, say mayon. It says a sign, a miracle.
Jump down to subsection B2.
Okay, it says of miracles and wonders by which the Most High authenticates the men sent by him, or by which men prove that the cause that they are pleading is the Most High's.
That's what Gideon was doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are doing. That's what we want to. Well, we want to be a part of this number.
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy.
That was all I got.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, that was pretty much the lesson. You know what I'm saying? And when a lot of times that this word was used in the New Testament, that was asking, they wanted to see the wicked scribes and Pharisees. They wanted to see what Gideon saw. You know what I'm saying? Different signs, because but they were trying to buck up against Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were like, okay, well, if everything you saying is so right, if everything that you saying is so right, then do a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they heard of all the miracles that Yahweh Shai did. But they said, okay, unless I see it, I'm not gonna believe it unless I see it. Right. But even if they did, okay, see the miracles, which a lot of people did see miracles, and they still didn't end up following the Lord. So anyway, this is an example of a righteous man seeking for a sign, and sometimes we pray for signs, and sometimes the Lord answers that.
That's
and
right.
So that was pretty much it. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything on the comment board. Okay. For a minute, okay, let's read this real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 12:17. It says, for when men will not believe that thou art full of power, thou showest thy strength. And among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest. You see? So a lot of people don't believe that the Most High is capable. A lot of people don't even believe in the Most High. They believe in all these other false gods. Okay. But when the Most High shows his strength, when he shows his miracles, that's when people start, the believers get woken up, and a lot of things are being worked in these times now, to where, and a lot of individuals are waking up, a lot of Israelites waking up to the truth, so we pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he continues to show those signs to the sincere, you see. But that's all I had, Zaquan.
Hey, you can close us out.
Fine. Hey, so Abarat Tazah, that was edifying. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.